Pulp Crazy. A Night in the Lonesome October by Roger Zelazny. I am a watchdog. My name is Snuff. I live with my master Jack outside of London now. I like Soho very much at night, with its smelly fogs and dark streets. It is silent then, and we go for long walks. Jack is under a curse from long ago, and must do much of his work at night to keep worse things from happening. I keep watch while he is about it. If someone comes, I howl. We are the keepers of several curses, and our work is very important. I have to keep watch on the thing in the circle, the thing in the wardrobe, and the thing in the steamer trunk. Not to mention the things in the mirror. When they try to get out, I raise particular hell with them. They are afraid of me. I do not know what I would do if they all tried to get out at the same time. It is good exercise, though, and I snarl a lot. I fetch things for Jack on occasion. His wand, his big knife with the old writing on the sides. I always know when he needs them, because it is my job to watch and to know. I like being a watchdog, better than what I was before he summoned me and gave me this job. So we walk, Jack and other dogs are often afraid of me. Sometimes I like to talk and compare notes on watchdogging and masters, but I do tend to intimidate them. One night, when we were in a graveyard recently, an old watchdog came by, though, and we talked for a time. Hi, I'm a watchdog. Me too. I've been watching you. And I've been watching you. Why is your person digging a big hole? There are some things down there that he needs. Oh, I don't think he's supposed to be doing that. May I see your teeth? Yes. Here. May I see yours? Of course. Perhaps it's all right. Do you think you might leave a large bone somewhere nearby? I believe that could be arranged. Are you the ones who were by here last month? No, that was the competition. We were shopping elsewhere. They didn't have a watchdog. Bad planning. What did you do? Barked a lot. They got nervous and left. Good. Then we're still probably ahead. Been with your person long? Ages. How long have you been a graveyard dog? All my life. Like it? It's a living, he said. Jack needed lots of ingredients for his work, as there was a big bit of business due soon. Perhaps it were best to take it day by day. And indeed, that is how A Night in the Lonesome October is structured. Following this opening introduction, each chapter takes place entirely on a certain day in the Lonesome October, all leading up to Halloween, sometime during the Victorian era. You've already been introduced to our narrator, Snuff, who's Jack the Ripper's watchdog. In this case, I believe Zelazny is drawing heavily from Robert Bloch's version of Jack the Ripper, as seen in Yours Truly, Jack the Ripper. I did a video on that several years ago. I urge anybody that's interested to check out that story in the video. And as a matter of fact, Robert Bloch is one of the authors that Roger Zelazny dedicated this novel to, along with Mary Shelley, Edgar Allan Poe, Bram Stoker, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, H.P. Lovecraft, Ray Bradbury, Albert Payson Terhune, and the makers of a lot of old movies. Indeed, this novel has quite the cast. You have Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, and they're joined by a who's who of horror monsters. Now, just to be clear, I don't think that Zelazny was really drawing on the literary versions of these monsters. To me, they seem to be drawn more from the universal horror films of yesteryear. They include Frankenstein's monster, Dracula, and the Wolfman. Joining them are Jill, a witch, Rasputin, the mad monk, a druid named Owen, a pair of grave robbers, and a mad vicar. All of them are joined by a familiar, an animal that aids them. Jack the Ripper's familiar is Snuff, Jill's familiar is a cat named Greymal. Dracula's familiar is Needle, a bat. Dr. Frankenstein not only has his monster, he also has a rat named Bubo. Larry Talbot, the Wolfman, well, he's kind of his own familiar. The grave robbers have an owl named Nightwind as their familiar. The vicar has a unique albino raven named Tekela. Owen the druid has Screecher the squirrel as his familiar. And Rasputin the mad monk has a snake as his familiar. The snake's name is Quicklime. The plot of the novel centers around this group of players. The players are separated into two categories. Some are openers and some are closers. What's being opened or closed? It just so happens that it is a portal gateway that will bring the elder gods of H.P. Lovecraft back to Earth. This can only be done on Halloween night during certain years when specific conditions are met. During the course of the novel, we follow Snuff throughout his days as he makes preparations for the big event and interacts with other characters and familiars who were in the game. If you're a fan of the Universal monsters and horror in general, this is a book that you really should read. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. It was my first time reading it this year. For fans of H.P. Lovecraft, there's quite a few H.P. Lovecraft references in here, and there is one particular chapter that I think fans will really enjoy. Even if you haven't started reading this yet, there's still time to read it in the couple days up to Halloween. The early chapters go by fairly fast. Once you get towards the end, preparations for the game are over and more things start to happen, so those chapters get a little longer. But you got plenty of time to polish this book off in 2 or 3 days if you haven't started already. If not, I would recommend waiting till next year and start reading this on October 1st and basically spend your day mirroring Snuff's day. October 1st, read, the October 1st chapter and so on all the way up to Halloween. I did that this year, but I couldn't resist finishing it ahead of time. Plus, I wanted to make this video. The book's still in print. You can get it on Kindle, paperback, and I believe there's a hardcover collector's edition out there from many years ago. From what I could tell, all have illustrations by Gahan Wilson. I'll put a link to it in the show notes. Happy Halloween, everyone. Pulp Crazy is located at pulpcrazy.com. I'm facebook.com/pulpcrazy. And I'm at Pulp Crazy on Twitter and Instagram.